Hey guys, Monica here to talk to you about the ScoutIQ 2 beta release. So, our ScoutIQ 2 app was just released. We are super excited because this is a huge step forward for the app, but it is a beta. So, we've already discovered a few bugs and we are working on rolling out fixes for those. We're also still taking customer feedback. With it being a beta, we want to hear from you. Try the ScoutIQ 2 app. Tell us what you love, tell us what needs improving. And please know that we hear you and we are implementing fixes for any bugs that are found, as well as listening to your feedback on what you don't like about the new redesign. That being said, this is a sleek new update. It is a more intuitive design for the app, and it has some really cool features that I'd love to walk you through. So without further ado, let's take a look at the ScoutIQ 2 beta.
So the first thing you're going to see is a familiar login screen, and you can log in with Google, log in with Apple, or like I am doing today, you can use a password or a password filler. Now, once you've logged in, the app is actually going to take you right through some in-app orientation for new users. So you swipe through and it tells you exactly how to use the app. It also helps you get familiar with our metrics. And we do have some cool stuff going on with our metrics and analysis right now. And when I swipe again, you can see that it explains how our profit calculator works. If you go ahead and tap Get Started, it's going to take you to giving full permissions to use your phone's camera with the ScoutIQ app. And then it opens directly up to our scanning screen. And you can start scanning right away. You can scan the barcode or ISBN just like you've always done. And on the page that comes up, you can type in your buy cost. After you've typed in the buy cost on the first book, it will stay until you change it again. There are a few glitches with the buy cost screen that aren't worked out yet, but they should be fixed very, very soon. Once you have your set buy cost, you can begin scanning. And let's talk a little bit about what you see on the Scout screen. So the Scout screen is definitely set up different, but you're going to see some familiar features that you're used to seeing. Right at the top left of the screen, you see the thumbnail of the book that we have always shown. If you are in live mode, and that is still true today, scanning in live mode is going to show that thumbnail for you. You're going to see the title, the weight of the book, and the ISBN. You'll also see the category indicating the category that you're scanning, in this case, book. Now, instead of our accept or reject recommendations that you're used to, you're going to see, and let me change my buy cost to something a little lower just to give you a feel for what it might look like if we had a reject, or maybe a book that you're that is a good buy, but you are restricted for it. You're going to get a red or a green recommendation, just like what you're used to seeing. But it's going to just have wording that's a little more subtle. This does not seem like a great buy currently, or this does seem like a great buy currently in green, or letting you know if you are restricted. You saw how that went from green to orange. It's a solid buy, but it is restricted on Amazon. That doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't buy it, especially if this book had really only cost me 25 cents for this profit amount, but definitely proceed with caution, knowing that you are going to have to apply for approval with Amazon before you can list this book. Now below that, we see our target price. That's the price that you used to see highlighted in orange on the Scout screen. It is right here for you now. That is the price that is selected by your triggers. And so your triggers are going to pick the most profitable price at which this book is likely to sell quickly based on how you have it set up. And then that's the price used to evaluate profit. Buy cost functions much the same as it did in the 1.0 version of the app. So if you tap buy cost, it's going to pop up a screen. You can enter the buy cost for that item. And profit, you're going to see functions very similarly to how it functioned in the 1.0 version of the app. So if you tap the profit calculator, it's going to pop up for you. Your list price is going to be included there, the buy cost, and you can modify it there on this page as well. And your profit number will change accordingly. Your estimated profit still includes all of your Amazon fees. Just keep in mind that we still don't factor in placement fees just because those can vary so dramatically. And so we do have some people who like to increase cost per pound to compensate for the fact that placement fees are not factored in. As before, you can still view profit, FBA, or merchant fulfilled, and you're going to get your estimated fees either way there. Or closing out of the profit calculator, You now see your new buy box, used buy box, and Amazon's price right below that. And you will notice that, like in this particular case, Amazon's price was chosen as our target price. And just as before, our target price is actually taking 10% off of the target price whenever Amazon's price is selected based on your triggers. And so you will notice that when Amazon's price is selected as your target price, it will be highlighted with, you'll notice the little bubble there rather than highlighting on the screen. But just scanning another example where that is not the case, you see that the target price is just, if it's, in this case, it's the used buy box, so you see a bubble there. Or if it is one of the offers, in this offers area here, you'll see it sort of bolded. So let me try to find an example with that for you. So you see that's bolded and there's a little box around it letting you know that the offer selected for comparison by your triggers is highlighted here. In this case, it is your third used offer. The columns still function similarly to what you're familiar with ScoutIQ 1, with used pricing being on the left of the screen and new pricing being on the right. And you still see the number of offers available for that item. We're still offering the same curated platform of 7 prices that we did show in the ScoutIQ 1 version, because these are the foundation for your triggers. However, we do give you a little bit more information, and this is one of the greatest things about ScoutIQ 2. So you see a visual representation for eScore, which just kind of takes some of the guesswork out of it for you. If I scan a book with a much better eScore, you can see easily by looking at the screen here that a green, you can notice that this is all the way in the green range at 151 plus. And so you get a better feel for what kind of eScore this particular item has. We're also looking at sales rank a little bit differently. So we are letting you know, we're using the BSR metric that you're probably familiar with if you used Inventory Lab before, letting you know what percentage of rank this item is for the category. In this particular case, with a rank of 10,351, this is a very good rank in the top 2% of items, books being sold. It's not in the top 1%, but it's still very good. Another thing you're going to see is we've added offer analysis here. So it's giving you a feel for how many other people are selling this item, because we know if there's a lot of other offers available, it's going to be harder to sell your item. You're going to be competing against more people. And so we're giving you a green, yellow, or orange, green, yellow, or red listing here, letting you know if the competition is, good, or if you might want to consider, even though it's a high eScore, it's got a good profit, you may want to consider backing off when you have a total number of offers in the red zone. Again, these are all metrics that you can still evaluate for your own business and see what makes sense for you, but we're just giving you the data. As our founder, Caleb Roth, used to say, data is king. Below that, you still see our integrations with Sell Back Your Book and restricted inventory. And now, some of the other things that you might miss right at a glance, that you might miss from our former Scout screen, are the custom links and some of the other links that we had at the bottom of the Scout screen previously. If you tap the 3 dots in the upper right corner, you can now see our custom link, which is still managed under settings. I have it set to bookfinder.com right now, and it still functions just like it used to. Same thing for addall.com, eBay sold, eBay active, or whatever else you may want to put in there. Now we have analytics for that book, so you can view pricing and analytics trends for the item you've just scanned, just like we used to. It used to be called ScoutIQ, or be under the little chart button on the bottom of the Scout screen, but now it's under analytics. So if you tap that, you'll see that keep a chart that you may remember, showing you the historic sales price, the historic new price, historic used price, and sales rank history for that item. And you can still zoom and stretch that as you like. Now, if I had been scanning in database only mode, I could tap and get a view and view this item in live mode. I could also research on bookscatter.com or look at the listing on Amazon here using these links. Now, getting out of the Scout screen, I want to show you some of the other features that are available under other tabs. Now, under the Home tab, you have the option to view what was previously under the Analytics tab. You can still filter by a specific time frame and view your analytics in that time frame. And we also now offer the option to customize a specific time frame of your choosing. Um, we have the option to view your accepted scans. And just like before with our analytics tab, if you tap view all, you have the option here to download a CSV file of your accepted scans. And you can upload with just a little bit of modification. You can upload those directly into Inventory Lab for listing. But let's go back and look at the scan screen really quick and talk about speed mode, because another new feature they added is the ability to review your recent scans when you're scanning in speed mode. You get the sneak preview across the top of the screen, but then we also have the added feature. If you tap Show More, you can now see the items you just scanned in that speed mode scanning batch, which is very cool. Tapping on over to triggers, not a lot has changed in this triggers screen. It's just a little cleaner, a little better looking. And if you tap Add New, it's actually just going to take you right to the web portal where you can manage your triggers here. But under the Settings tab, we do have some changes that affect your triggers in a sense, and that is that we now have fallback offers. If you tap over to settings and scroll down, you will see that we have the option to modify how we handle books with no offers. So you have the option to either apply the default settings and set a fallback price that you're just going to default to in cases where there are no offers. I put in $1.50 here, but you could put in any number you like, or you have the option to always accept books with no or items with no offers, or always reject items with no offers. So again, how you choose to handle that is completely dependent on your preferences and how you're running your business. But in the past, we just didn't have that level of granularity, and we now do. So that is a very cool feature, long requested. It is a big improvement there. We also just have a sleeker look with our downloadable database, and we now have in-app reminders when you need to download the database. If you haven't downloaded it in a while, we're going to remind you when you open your ScoutIQ app that needs to be done. We still have our same scanning modes you're familiar with, and then we still have all of the app controls that you're familiar with toward the top of the screen. At the very top, we also see that I can now see that my Amazon account status is connected. If it were not, I would have the ability to click here, and it is going to take me right to Seller Central to go ahead and log in and approve ScoutIQ to access Amazon on my behalf using the SP API there. So if you have not paired your Amazon account, you can now do so in the app with ScoutIQ 2. So that is a quick walkthrough of our ScoutIQ app. One other feature that I'm not demonstrating today is our hidden mode. You'll see an updated sleek design for team members using the ScoutIQ app, and if they're in hidden mode, they will now have the benefit of adding in a buy cost for your hidden mode users. So definitely check that out. Keep in mind this is a beta, so please drop any recommendations you have into our feature request reminder or feature request frill for ScoutIQ, which will be listed in the comments. And if you need support, please do not hesitate to reach out to support@scoutiq.co. Thank you.